I love reading books. I read a lot of non-fiction, but this time I read fiction. So basically, what I like so much about reading books is I can go through people perspective in their first person experience. So that's why I like all this book telling the experience of themselves, so I can be in their shoes and experience that also and learn things from there. And the book that I've read recently, just finished it today. This book about living in poverty. So the title of the book is Down In and Down in Paris and London. So from there I've learned about how the poverty is like when you're living in that, and how people who are never been in that situation have a say in it. And here I want to talk about three things that I've learned from that book that I want to share today. The first one is why this poverty is everlasting, and it's hard to break the cycle because of the system itself. The people who are rich, this is from his perspective, and I kind of agree with it also. People who are rich, they are afraid of this poor guy. They think they're different, but the truth is we are all the same. It's just that poverty doesn't have money, but rich people have a lot of money, but people are same. That's one thing for sure. And then because of these rich people, they worry about these poor people. They want them to be there to make sure they're not doing anything. They think of them as a mob that can cause a riot or chaos, but it's not that way actually. And what happened is causing producing a job, for example swabbing the dishes, and all this guy need to work for 17 hours with no life. And this is a modern slave in a way where they cannot stop working, they don't have a life, and they have to do that only to survive, just to survive. So that's a sad part of it. And the second thing is what I've learned is how hard the poverty is like. For example, they're starving most of the time, they don't have anything to eat. And even the system, they also give this free food, but it's barely enough. It's not enough. It's only enable them to survive, but they will be in this state of starving for the whole day. And the system also, they created something like they will give you food, but you have to pray, for example 30 seconds to sing the prayers so that they will be grateful, but it's not working. And they also have this place where you can sleep in it for free, and it's like a prison, but it's only once a month. If you go there for second time in less than a month, then you will be penalized. And what happens in there is when you eat there, and then you will be like a prison. You cannot go out until they will open it in the midday or sometime in the morning. Then you lock up in there 50-60% in the small room. So that's a sad part of it, because all the system they tried to make them idle, so they cannot move away. Or there are only two things that the poor people can do, or the tramp, the homeless. The first thing is whether they're locked up in the prison. The second one is they will be wandering the streets collecting the cigarettes, the short cigarette that people throw away, and then smoke that one for the whole day. And it's such a sad thing. Third, that we in for example myself, I've taken all this for granted. Like, I'm now be much more grateful after reading this, after learning, immersed in that reading, to understand what does it look like. And it's not, not like I can understand it fully because I'm not in their shoes, but I can relate to it, to understand it better, because this writer write it in very good way that it feels like I was there. And then to be grateful that we don't have to worry about basic needs, for all the foods, sleeping where I am. I'm so grateful when I have assets. The people in poverty, they don't have nothing. Even they sell their apparel, their coat, their shirt, just to get few cents, few dollars to be able to sleep under the roof with 60 people in the same room. That's a sad thing about it. And that's about it that I want to share on this book about the life of poverty. That these people, if we can overcome our fear that it's not the mob, they don't have anything against us, they are not cruel or something like that. If we create a system where we give them identity, person who are respectable in society, they become a much better person and live with, by reducing all this, and can reduce the gap between the poor people and the rich people. The second thing is how hard their life is. And one thing about people who are uneducated, the poor people, these tramps, one thing that they need the most is the work itself. They don't need money, then they need the work. So when they idle, this makes them miserable. And the third thing that I want to talk, the third thing that I want to summarize is that we need to be grateful with things that we have. Imagine that we're not living in the street, not having all that diseases, all the bugs from cheap accommodation. And thank you.